Have you ever stopped and wondered, what truly shapes the mind of a wise person? Marcus Aurelius once whispered, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Every thought, every flicker of curiosity, shapes the fabric of who you become. Now, pause for a moment. Close your eyes and imagine a version of you. Sharper, clearer, deeply aware, not a distant fantasy, but a reality that begins with a decision. Right here, right now. In this journey, you will walk through 10 Stoic techniques, not just to appear intelligent, but to become someone of profound inner clarity. 1. Embrace change. As your most honest teacher, change is not your enemy. It is your oldest, wisest instructor. The Stoics never asked the world to stop changing. They asked themselves to start learning. Every time you moved to a new city, every book that shifted your view, every heartbreak, every detour, wasn't that where your true growth began? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Loss is nothing else but change. And change is nature's delight." Change strips away comfort, but it replaces it with awareness. If you let it, don't chase change blindly, but meet it with a flexible mind. Ask, what is this moment trying to teach me? And in that question, intelligence is born. 2. Lean into discomfort. That's where wisdom lives. Comfort numbs. Discomfort awakens. Your true mind isn't shaped when you're relaxed. It's carved during the struggle. The Stoics taught that the obstacle is not the interruption. It is the path. Every time you push through a difficult conversation, try something new and fail, or sit alone in deep thought, you are forging resilience, the type that no book can give you. So next time discomfort arrives, welcome it like a mentor. Say, "I see you, and I will grow through you." 3. Disengage, deliberately, not accidentally. Modern life confuses engagement with intelligence, but overstimulation clouds wisdom. The Stoics knew the mind, like a blade, must rest between strikes. True insight arises in stillness. Picture a painter who steps back to observe before returning to perfect the canvas. Your thoughts need the same pause. Disengagement isn't laziness, it's clarity seeking. Take breaks, walk in silence, unplug from noise, not to escape, but to return stronger. 4. Be skeptical, ask better questions, not just find answers. The Stoics never claimed to have all the answers. They prized the questions that opened deeper understanding. Socrates, admired by Stoics, built his legacy on one truth: "I know that I know nothing." The intelligent mind doesn't rush to conclusions. It pauses, questions, and looks underneath the obvious. Next time you hear a bold claim, pause and ask, is this true? Is this useful? Is this wise? In the age of noise, discernment is intelligence. 5. Learn by living, not just by reading. You can quote Epictetus. You can recite Marcus Aurelius. But until you live those words, they remain ink on a page. The Stoics taught through action. They asked, how do you show wisdom? In failure? In pain? In uncertainty? Every challenge you face is a living classroom. Every response you choose is a test. So don't just collect thoughts. Test them, embody them. That is where real intelligence blooms. 6. Train your attention, because a scattered mind is a wasted mind. In a world of distractions, focus is power. Seneca warned, life is long. If you know how to use it, how do you use yours? Scrolling endlessly? Chasing every ping and pop-up? Your intelligence thrives where your attention lives. So protect it. Practice presence. Turn simple moments, like sipping tea or walking outside, into acts of full awareness. Attention is your most sacred currency. Spend it wisely. 7. Simplify, because depth comes through clarity. The Stoics lived simply, not because they were poor, but because they were rich in understanding. A cluttered mind chases too many goals, too many desires, too many opinions, but a Stoic mind asks, what truly matters? Intelligence isn't complexity, it's clarity, and clarity requires letting go. Strip away what distracts, say no more often, and suddenly, your thoughts grow deeper and freer. 8. Build habits. Wisdom must be lived daily. Marcus didn't write Meditations to sound smart. He wrote it as a reminder to stay aligned every day. What you do daily becomes what you think, and what you think becomes who you are. The Stoic mind isn't built overnight. It's forged through morning reflection, evening review, and conscious living in between. Want to be intelligent? Start by being disciplined. 9. Speak less, listen more. Seneca said, "It is better to be silent and be thought a fool, than to speak and remove all doubt." Silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. In silence, you listen, you absorb, you understand. An intelligent person doesn't talk to impress. They speak when it serves, and they listen to grow. Every moment you choose to listen, your mind stretches, and your presence deepens. 10. Reflect daily. Intelligence without reflection is noise. At the end of each day, the Stoics asked, what did I do well? What did I do poorly? What can I improve? That habit, that evening reflection, is the mirror of a wise mind. Don't just live on autopilot. Live examined. Grab a pen, ask questions, be honest, and grow. Because the mind that reflects evolves. You've just unlocked 10 keys to greater wisdom. Don't just store them in memory. Etch them into your days. Like Marcus said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. So let your thoughts be deep, clear, and resilient. Let your actions mirror your inner clarity. And let your intelligence be more than knowledge. Let it be wisdom in motion. Brown circle, stay stoic. Brown circle, stay awake. Brown circle, and keep growing. Sometimes, the greatest clarity comes not from pressing forward, but from stepping back. Marcus Aurelius once reflected that men seek retreats, homes by the sea, mountain cabins, quiet countryside, but the truest retreat lies not in the distance we travel, but in the depth we return to within ourselves. In today's hyper-connected world, the idea of disengaging may seem almost rebellious. We are expected to always respond, always be available, always be on. But deliberate disengagement is not avoidance, it is wisdom in action. It is the art of carving out sacred space amidst chaos. Imagine, for a moment, the simple power of going for a walk, without your phone. Or spending a few quiet minutes just breathing deeply, no screens, no noise, just you. It is in these pauses, these moments of intentional disconnection, that the mind stretches, reflects, renews. The Stoics understood that we don't need to abandon life to find peace. We simply need to allow space for the soul to breathe. By practicing deliberate disengagement, we give our minds room to process and to learn. Amidst the relentless engagement of modern life, this becomes not a luxury, but a necessity. The lesson is clear: in stepping back, even briefly, we rediscover clarity, insight, and the deeper purpose that might otherwise be drowned by distraction. Now let us turn to another cornerstone of Stoic intelligence: the unwavering commitment to lifelong learning. School may end, but true learning never should. The Stoics believed that each sunrise brings with it the possibility of growth. And not the kind tied to titles or degrees, but the inner expansion of wisdom, curiosity, and understanding. Picture the wonder in a child's eyes when they encounter something new. That spark of curiosity, that boundless hunger for knowledge, it lives within us still. It is only dulled by routine, buried beneath responsibility. But what if we could unearth it again? What if each day could become a fresh opportunity to see, to understand, to grow? Epictetus once said, "Only the educated are free." But he wasn't talking about diplomas. He meant the kind of education that liberates the soul, the understanding that broadens the heart, sharpens the mind, and deepens the spirit. In our age, resources abound: podcasts, documentaries, open courses, books, and conversations with wise people around us. But true learning is not passive. It requires reflection, application. It requires that we take the wisdom we gather and make it real, woven into how we live and how we serve others. Every encounter becomes a lesson, every challenge, a classroom, and every mistake, a doorway to greater insight. When you walk through life with the eyes of a student, always open, always questioning, you're never stagnant. You are ever growing, ever evolving. That is the essence of a wise soul, humble, curious, alive. Yet learning alone is not enough. The Stoics teach us that gratitude is the lens that brings meaning into focus. Gratitude is often seen as a soft, emotional feeling, something fleeting. But the Stoics saw it as a discipline, a way of looking at the world that reveals layers of wisdom hidden in plain sight. Gratitude is not reserved for moments of triumph or obvious joy. It is an inner posture, a way of recognizing value in the quiet, the mundane, even in the painful. When we're grateful, we slow down, we notice, we observe the intricate beauty of what already is. Rather than chasing what could be, we shift our focus from lack to abundance, and in that shift, wisdom blooms. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." He wasn't asking for blind optimism. He was asking for awareness, for a life that is present, not postponed. Think of the wisdom that gratitude opens us to. The way a failure can become a powerful lesson, the way a child's laugh softens our armor, the way a sunset can remind us how fleeting and precious each moment is. In a world obsessed with what's next, gratitude roots us in what's now. It makes us more alert, more receptive, more awake. As you walk through your day, pause often, breathe, look around you, listen for the small gifts you usually miss: the smell of coffee, the smile of a stranger, the silence of early morning. These are not distractions, they are invitations. And when you accept them, when you truly receive the present moment, you will find that your mind clears, your heart softens, and your spirit strengthens. Because intelligence, real intelligence, is not just about knowing facts or solving problems. It's about how we relate to life itself. And that begins with gratitude. There's a quiet kind of power in pausing to give thanks, not just when things go well, not only during grand celebrations or hard-won victories, but in the ordinary rhythm of our daily lives. In that quiet gesture of gratitude, something profound awakens, because when we choose to appreciate not just the extraordinary, but the simple, fleeting moments, we don't just find joy, we tap into a deeper intelligence. a kind of clarity that only arises when the heart is fully present. Have you ever truly watched a leaf fluttering in the wind? Have you looked closely at the frost weaving delicate patterns across a cold window pane? These might seem like small things, insignificant even, but they hold a kind of hidden magic. A secret the Stoics understood deeply: the power of mindful observation. Mindful observation isn't just about noticing what's in front of you. It's about seeing, with intent, with presence, with reverence. It's stepping into the now. Fully awake, fully aware, the world begins to unfold not as background noise, but as a vast, intricate tapestry of lessons, beauty, and insight. Seneca once said, "Time discovers truth, and when we truly take the time to observe, when we slow down enough to witness the patterns, the changes, the subtleties around us, we begin to uncover truths not only about the world, but about others, and most importantly, about ourselves." In a world that constantly demands our attention, filled with buzzing devices and endless distractions, the act of simply watching a sunset, a bustling street, a child's laughter, is quietly radical. These moments, often drowned in noise, are where intelligence begins to flourish. Because observation is not passive, it is active participation in the miracle of life. So take time each day to just see. Watch how the light falls across your floor in the morning. Notice the way your breath moves in and out. Observe without judgment, simply witness. The more you practice, the more the world reveals its depth to you. And the more you grow, not just in knowledge, but in wisdom. Now let's shift from seeing to hearing. We've all done it, sat in a conversation, nodding politely, while our minds are 1,000 miles away. Maybe we're thinking about work, or what we'll eat for dinner, or the last notification on our phone. And yet, true intelligence, as the Stoics taught, isn't found in clever responses. It's found in the art of active listening. Listening is not just waiting for your turn to speak. It is being fully present with another human being. It means suspending your own thoughts long enough to truly hear theirs. Not to judge, not to react, but to understand. Epictetus once reminded us, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we may listen twice as much as we speak." A simple truth, but one most people forget. In a world that rushes us to reply, there is quiet power in taking a breath and really hearing someone. Active listening opens the door to deeper connection. It reveals perspectives we'd never considered. It expands not only our emotional intelligence, but our intellectual understanding. Every conversation becomes an opportunity, not just to respond, but to grow. So the next time someone speaks to you, pause. Clear your mental clutter. Look into their eyes. Hear their meaning, not just their words. In that act of attention, you'll find your intelligence quietly expanding. And what happens when the noise is too much? We live in a world that rarely stops talking. Phones buzz, music blares, news flashes by. It's loud, not just around us, but inside us. And that's why the Stoics placed profound value on silence. Seeking silence amidst the noise isn't about running away. It's about coming home to yourself. It's about creating space in your mind, where thoughts can breathe, where truth can rise to the surface. Seneca, in his wisdom, said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." And he was right. Many of our fears aren't born from truth, but from the constant static of distraction. When we step into silence, we separate the real from the imagined. We begin to see clearly. Silence isn't empty, it's full. Full of insight, full of clarity, It is in those still moments that our minds recalibrate, reconnect, and grow stronger. Make time for silence, not just when life breaks you, but daily, even if just for a few minutes. Sit without music, walk without your phone, let your thoughts settle like dust. In this sacred pause, you'll hear your own voice again. And in hearing it, you'll understand yourself better. That's what the Stoics knew. Intelligence isn't just sharpened in study, it's forged in stillness. In listening, in observation, in gratitude. These aren't soft virtues. They are the roots of resilience. The foundations of a mind that sees clearly and acts wisely. If you feel this shift within you, if something in these words resonates, then take a moment. Reflect, and carry that stillness with you into the chaos of life. Because amidst the noise, the world needs more thinkers. And even more listeners. Even in a world that never stops talking, you can choose to pause. True silence isn't about cutting off the world, it's about cutting through the noise. And returning to a place within, where thoughts are clearer, breath is deeper, and life slows down just enough for wisdom to be heard. Just a few minutes each day. On a quiet walk, during your morning coffee, or before sleep, can reset the mind, sharpen awareness, and bring you back to what matters. This stillness is not an escape, it's a mirror. And in that reflection, your intelligence deepens. So, pause, breathe, and let silence do its quiet work. But wisdom doesn't just live in quiet rooms. It breathes in diverse voices. In stories unlike your own. Every human being is a library, carrying volumes of experience, culture, mistakes, and insight. And when you speak with someone from a different background, you're not just passing time. You're opening a window into a world you've never lived. Seneca once advised, associate with people who are likely to improve you. But improve doesn't always mean more knowledge. Sometimes, it means more empathy, more humility, more understanding of life from unfamiliar angles. Don't stay confined to voices that echo your own thoughts. Be curious. Talk to strangers. Ask questions without judgment, because through these unexpected dialogues, your own mind expands. And speaking of curiosity, judgment is easy. A single glance, a quick scroll, one label. But curiosity, that takes courage. It takes slowing down. It takes asking, why? When everyone else says, no. It takes peeking under the surface of things. Refusing to let the unknown stay unknown. Epictetus said, it is impossible for a person to begin to learn what he thinks he already knows. So the moment you assume you've seen it all, you've stopped growing. Choose curiosity. When something challenges you, don't turn away. Lean in. When someone disagrees, don't react. Inquire. When an idea feels strange, don't reject it. Explore it, because every time you resist judgment and lean into curiosity, you become not just more intelligent, but more human. Which of these Stoic techniques sparked something within you? Tell us below. Was it the silence? The people you'll now talk to differently? The curiosity you're ready to reignite? Let this be the beginning, not the end, of your journey. A path of growth, clarity, and calm in a world of noise and haste. And if this resonated with you, help spread the stillness. Like this video. Comment with your insight. Share it with someone who needs it. And subscribe so we can walk this Stoic path together. Stay present. Stay curious. Stay Stoic.